everybody, and welcome to another collective worship here all together. It's so lovely on this such special day because it was Pentecost yesterday, Pentecost Sunday, but because we weren't here, it's lovely for us to be able to come together and to mark such a special occasion. And if you remember, in previous collective worships, we've talked about how the disciples were waiting for this day, for the day that Jesus sent the Holy Spirit. And it was a really special moment for them. And it was a special gift for them. And I think over the past few weeks, we've come to appreciate all of the things that we have and the gifts that we have. So this really is an important time for us, and it's almost like the church's birthday. So we're going to have a lovely collective worship all together, and we're going to celebrate this special time in our calendar. So I'm going to start with a little film. Now hopefully my technical abilities will work. I've got Miss Marshall watching me in the background as well. She's keeping quiet, she doesn't want to be on camera, but this is where my technical abilities will fail. So, the Holy Spirit, as we talk about it, is sometimes called our helper, and it lends a helping hand to us. So we're just going to have a little video to watch, and it's called Sarah's Super Saturday. If it'll play. Or not.
Wow, today has been the most amazing day. Let me tell you all about it. My name is Sarah, and this was my Saturday. It started when Grandad woke up from his morning nap. He looked at his old pocket watch and said, "Oh, goodness me, is that the time? Do you know what time it is, Sarah?" I said, "I don't know how to tell the time. The hands on the clock just confuse me." So Grandad picked me up, sat me on his lap and explained all about the big hand and the little hand and the tick-tock second hand that goes round and round. It had never made sense to me before, but Grandad was so kind and welcoming, he made it seem easy. Grandad asked again, "Do you know what time it is, Sarah?" I looked at his watch, at the big hand and the little hand, and said proudly, "It's 11 o'clock in the morning." Grandad said, "Exactly, which means it's biscuit time." Now I can be like Grandad and tell the time. Then, later on, Mum was putting on her trainers to go out to walk the dog, and I asked if I could come too. Mum said, "Of course, put your new trainers on then." And I said, "Mum, I really like my new trainers, but the laces are all fiddly. I miss my old Velcro trainers. They were easy to put on." So Mum sat next to me on the doorstep. She'd been busy getting the dog ready, but suddenly she was really calm and peaceful, and patiently showed me how to thread one lace over the other, make a loop, and pull it through. Now I can be like Mum and tie my own shoelaces. Then later on I was outside when I fell off my bike and knocked into Ted, my older brother. "Ow, sorry Ted, I didn't mean to bump you. I'm rubbish at riding my bike now Dad's taking the stabilisers off. I just can't do it anymore." Ted can be grumpy sometimes, but he was really kind and picked me up off the floor. "You're not rubbish," he said. "It just takes practice. When I was your age, it took me ages to learn to ride my bike without stabilisers. Do you want me to help you?" So Ted held the back of my bike whilst I pedalled. It was really tricky to keep my balance, but Ted kept encouraging me to keep going, and he never minded if I bumped him or fell off. Eventually, I managed to ride the whole driveway without falling off. I'm not there quite yet, but I know that with Ted's help, I'll be like him and ride my bike without stabilisers. What a day! I'm going to remember it as Sarah's Super Saturday.
Well, what a lot of achievements there for Sarah that Saturday. And she had her 3 things that she learnt to do. She learnt to tie her shoelaces, she learnt to tell the time, and she learnt to ride her bike without stabilisers. Now the big thing for Sarah is the people who were there to help her and the qualities of those people. And if we think about it, all of those people, even Ted, who she expected to be a bit grumpy and could be like that, weren't. They had a real time for her. They were welcoming, they were loving, and they shared their experience and what they knew with her to help her achieve something else. So, helping someone is really important, and I know through our Acts of Kindness challenge that we've had loads of examples of the children of St Gabriel's and other people really helping others through what is a really difficult time at the moment. And if we think about it, we talk about the fact that St Gabriel's is St Gabriel's because we have the Holy Spirit, we believe in Jesus and in God, and we use that strength to make us unique and to make us who we are. So this is what we're talking about here. So those people who helped Sarah really use their qualities that they get from the Holy Spirit to help them. So, we've got to remember that every day the Holy Spirit helps us to be just like Jesus. And we're going to watch the Gospel in a minute. So if you went to Mass yesterday, or if you won't have been to Mass, if you watched Mass at St Gabriel's yesterday, you'll have heard this. But it can be quite difficult to understand the Holy Spirit and what it actually means. But we can understand it better by actually thinking about what it does and what it does for us. So,
it was the first day of the week, and that evening Jesus' disciples were all together. The doors were locked because they were afraid of the Jews. Then, although the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them. He said, "Peace be with you," and showed them the wounds in his hands and his side, which the nails had made. The disciples were filled with joy when they saw the Lord, and he said to them again, "Peace be with you." Then Jesus told his disciples to act like him, to follow his example. After he said this, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit."
now I always found this a bit difficult to understand about how the Holy Spirit in us helps us. So, I've got a little experiment and I've got to try and not get it on my dress at the moment. Okay, so I've got some water and I've got some food colouring. So what I'm going to do, I've raided Mrs. Carey's cupboards here in nursery, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit in, a few drops. And as you can see, it starts to sink. So I was once shown this, and it was how I think about the Holy Spirit and what it does to us. Now, as you can see, the drops are starting to mix within us. Those things are starting to come within us. And it's just like as we take the Holy Spirit, we think about how it comes into us and helps us to become like Jesus. But it's not until we stir it up, it becomes, I've just lost something, I don't know what was in there. It becomes like every part of us. There's no gaps. Everything that we do is in there. It could be like if you ever make a cup of tea and you put the sugar in and forget to stir it, and then you take a drink and you think, I'm sure I've put that in there, but until you stir it and you let it take over everything that you've done, and every part of you, it doesn't come out in the actions. So today we're thinking about how Jesus can take over all of us and all of the actions that we do. Now I'm just going to skip forward a little bit on this presentation because we're going to think about how this might be seen in the world today. And unfortunately, if we watch the news at the moment, there's some really sad things going on, and some things where people are acting in a way that doesn't reflect maybe what we believe or what we know should happen in our world. But there are some good things happening out there, and we talked about a few of them. So, this is where, as I say, my technical abilities. So, we've got Sir Tom Moore, so Captain Sir Tom Moore now, isn't he? And all the wonderful things he's done, and that's one person who's made such a huge difference to so many people's lives and inspired so many other people to go out and do things as well. this little boy, I'll just double check his name because he has, let me double check. Yeah, Tobias Weller, he's got cerebral palsy, but he has ran the course of a marathon, and he hasn't let anything that, you know, he finds difficult in life sort of stand between him and doing something wonderful. And he's walked over 26 miles in 2 months during the lockdown. That's incredible. And raised money again for the NHS. We've got so many people helping people out with food. Here in school we have our own food bank, and it's lovely to see that we're not just helping the people of St Gabriel's, but so many other people as well that are coming into the entrance to school and having, you know, some support from us and from other local community groups. And we're really thankful to the church because St Gabriel's has really supported us during that, and especially the SVP who have managed to get us a donation to help us carry on this brilliant work. So I feel really thankful to all of the people who have helped us to keep that going. And then we've got our VE Day celebrations. We had a brilliant time on VE Day thinking about all of the people who have given up their lives for us, but also how it brought us together as a community. And I think that's a really, really important message. I know over my time in lockdown when I've been at home, I've got close to my neighbours, and although we can't physically be close, you know, we're talking over the fence and we're sharing, you know, ideas and things. And it's lovely just to have that support of somebody to get you through. And VE Day did bring communities together, and I think it was brilliant that even during this terrible time, we were still able to celebrate it. So, we're going to just take a moment and we're going to think about the coming of the Holy Spirit. And we say, just like Sarah's family that we saw in the video who helped her, the Holy Spirit is welcoming, peaceful, forgiving, encouraging, loving and kind. Whenever we are those things, we can be sure that the Holy Spirit is working within us. And I just want you to think about for a moment how you could show that the Holy Spirit is in you today. Maybe you could send us a photograph of something that you do. And we remember that even when it's difficult, that the forgiveness that the Holy Spirit gives us helps us to forgive other people and reach out to people who might be feeling really lonely at the moment. Maybe you could send a postcard or give them a phone call, people that you haven't seen, and that would mean a lot to them. So as the final prayer today, I'm going to play the song that's called the UK Blessing, and it's a beautiful piece of music that's been created by lots of different churches around the country, lots of denominations where they've all come together and they've created this beautiful song to really support people during this lockdown period. So I'm going to finish my assembly with that today as our special prayer, and I'll just leave you all saying thank you again for joining us. Obviously we haven't opened today, but we are opening to our Year 6 children next week. So if anyone has any worries or queries or concern, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Right, I will see you all again very soon. Let's see if I can do it on here this time. Oh no, I've just put it to the end. Trust me. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. children, of the children, of the children, each